Imagine this. You wake up one morning and tell your family, I'm going to visit my cousin, only 80 kilometers away. Today? Easy. You grab your phone, call an Uber, maybe complain because it takes 6 minutes. But 2,000 years ago, your family would probably hug you because they genuinely thought you might never come back. Beat. Seriously, ancient travel wasn't a vacation. It was basically, let's see if I survive this week. Back then, there were no cars, no trains, no airplanes, no GPS, no Google Maps saying, you have arrived at your destination. Instead, your map looked something like this. Walk toward the big mountain. Turn left at the weird tree. If you see angry wolves, you've gone too far. Not exactly reliable. Travel wasn't just slow, it was dangerous. Imagine leaving home thinking, I'll be back next Tuesday. 3 months later, you're still lost. Your donkey has started judging your life choices. You accidentally joined a merchant caravan. And somehow, you're now in another kingdom. Congratulations, you took one wrong turn and invented international tourism. Everything. Bandits hiding behind rocks, wild animals, storms, floods, broken bridges, no clean drinking water, no hospitals, no roadside restaurants, no gas stations, no mechanic. If your wagon wheel broke, there wasn't a helpful guy named Steve waiting with roadside assistance. It was just you and your growing regret. People think getting lost today is stressful. Your GPS loses signal for 5 minutes, and suddenly you're panicking. Ancient travelers? Their GPS was the sun, or that mountain looks familiar. Sometimes they'd ask another traveler for directions. Unfortunately, that traveler was also lost. Now congratulations, you're both exploring together. So why risk it? Simple. People still needed to move, to trade, to visit family, to fight wars, to discover new lands, to deliver important messages. Or because somebody said, trust me, there's a city over there with amazing bread. Ancient people would travel hundreds of kilometers for bread. Honestly, respect. So, if ancient travel was this dangerous, how did people actually move across the world? Did everyone simply walk? Or did they have smarter ways to travel? Let's find out, because the next ride might surprise you. Let's start with the oldest vehicle ever invented, your legs. Yep, for thousands of years. Walking wasn't exercise, it was transportation. Need food? Walk. Need water? Walk. Need to visit another village? Walk. Need to escape an angry bear? Walk faster. Ancient people weren't counting steps on smartwatches. They were accidentally breaking world records just trying to buy vegetables. A healthy traveler could walk around 20 to 30 kilometers in a single day. Sounds impressive. Until you remember they were carrying bags, sleeping outside, and hoping nothing with sharp teeth was following them. Meanwhile, today, some people drive to the gym just to walk on a treadmill. History has a great sense of humor. When people got tired of carrying everything themselves, they hired a donkey. Well, not officially. Donkeys became one of humanity's greatest travel partners. Strong, reliable. They could carry heavy loads over rocky mountains where carts couldn't go. Sure, they weren't fast, but they didn't complain. Actually, they did complain, just in donkey language. Hee-haw. Translation: I'm carrying your entire life, Steve. Then came horses. Suddenly, travel became much faster. If walking was the free version, a horse was the premium upgrade. Kings used them, messengers used them, soldiers loved them. Because when your kingdom is under attack, walking dramatically toward the battlefield isn't exactly inspiring. Imagine hearing, the enemy arrives tomorrow, and your army responds. Perfect. We'll start walking now. Not ideal. Now let's head into the desert. Horses are great, until the temperature feels like the sun is trying to cook you. That's where camels became legends. Camels can travel for days with very little water. They carry heavy loads, walk across burning sand, and somehow always look like they're judging everyone. Seriously, every camel has the face of someone who's already tired of your nonsense. Ancient merchants loved them, because camels could cross deserts where almost no other animal could. They're basically the all-terrain vehicles of the ancient world. Imagine an ancient road. People walking, donkeys carrying sacks, horses galloping past, camels chewing dramatically, goats wandering wherever they wanted. It wasn't exactly organized. It was basically the world's first traffic jam, except instead of car horns, you heard hee-haw. Nay! Grunt, and one confused chicken that somehow joined the trip. But what happened when people needed to travel hundreds, or even thousands of kilometers? Walking wasn't enough. Even camels had limits. So humanity came up with something even bigger: ships, wagons, and roads that changed history forever. Eventually, humans looked at the ocean and thought, you know what? Let's float on that. Which is honestly one of the bravest or craziest ideas in history. Imagine seeing endless water, no land in sight, no life jacket, no weather forecast, and saying, yeah, this seems like a great idea. Congratulations, you just invented sea travel. The earliest boats were surprisingly simple. Some were made by hollowing out giant tree trunks. Others were built from wooden planks tied together with ropes. No engines, no steering wheel, no air conditioning, just wood, water, and a captain who was making things up as he went. If the wind was good, you moved. If the wind disappeared, congratulations. You now owned a floating piece of wood. Ancient sailors faced dangers that would make modern cruise passengers panic. Massive storms, giant waves, hidden rocks, strong currents, and sometimes pirates. Imagine spending weeks crossing the sea, only for pirates to appear and say, nice boat. We'll be taking that now. Worst customer service ever. And remember, nobody had radar. Nobody had emergency rescue helicopters. If your ship sank, the ocean wasn't calling for help. It was saying, you're on your own. Back on land, rich people wanted something faster. Enter the chariot. Think of it as the ancient world's sports car. 2 wheels, fast horses, a driver trying very hard not to hit a rock. Kings rode them. Generals used them in battle. Some civilizations even raced them for fun. Imagine Formula 1, except the engine eats hay and occasionally kicks people. Not exactly the safest design. One bad bump, and suddenly you're discovering gravity the hard way. Then the Romans changed everything. Instead of muddy paths, they built solid stone roads stretching for thousands of kilometers, straight, strong, and so well built that some Roman roads are still visible today. Meanwhile, some modern roads get one rainy season and immediately become archaeological sites. The Romans weren't just building roads, they were building the ancient internet, except instead of sending memes, they sent soldiers, merchants, messages, and tax collectors. Nobody was excited to see the tax collector arrive faster. But even with incredible roads and powerful ships, some journeys took months or even years. So how did people travel between entire continents? Without airplanes, without engines, and without Google Maps? The answer lies on one of history's greatest trade routes, the legendary Silk Road. Imagine ordering something online, and instead of arriving tomorrow, it arrives 8 months later. Welcome to the Silk Road. This wasn't one road. It was a giant network of trade routes stretching over 6,000 kilometers, 3,700 miles across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Merchants carried silk, spices, tea, gold, jewelry, and countless other treasures. Every trip was a massive adventure. And yes, there was no tracking number. Being a merchant wasn't easy. You packed your camels, loaded your supplies, said goodbye to your family, and disappeared for months, sometimes even years. When you finally returned, your neighbors were like, "Oh, you're alive." Your dog had forgotten you. Your beard had become its own civilization. And somehow, you had 47 new stories that nobody believed. So, you're telling me you saw elephants? Sure, Grandpa. Today, if you're hungry while traveling, you stop at a restaurant. Ancient travelers? Not so lucky. Many cooked over campfires. Others stayed in small inns or caravan stops along major trade routes. Some nights were comfortable. Other nights, your hotel was a rock. 5 stars? No, 5 mosquitoes. Breakfast? Whatever you remembered to pack. Here's something incredible. Ancient travelers crossed deserts, mountains, forests, and open seas. Without GPS, they used the sun, the stars, landmarks, rivers, local guides, and experience passed down through generations. Imagine explaining that today. How did you get here? Oh, I turned left at the bright star, then followed the river until I found a mountain shaped like a sleeping goat. Honestly, that's more impressive than Google Maps. Some people didn't just travel, they explored. They sailed into oceans nobody had mapped, crossed deserts no one had crossed before, climbed mountains, discovered new cultures, opened trade routes, connected civilizations. Without these brave travelers, the world would have stayed much more isolated. Human history moved forward because someone was willing to ask, I wonder what's over that hill, even if the answer was, more hills. Let's be honest, modern travel problems sound pretty small now. My flight is delayed 2 hours. Ancient traveler. I've been walking for 6 months. My camel stole my lunch. I nearly got robbed by bandits. I crossed a desert. I survived a storm. And now I'm only halfway there. Suddenly, airport delays don't seem so terrible. So the next time you're stuck in traffic or waiting for your train, remember, at least you're not crossing a desert with a stubborn camel, while hoping pirates, wolves, and bandits don't ruin your day. If you enjoyed this journey through history, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us for more incredible stories from the past. Because history is way more fun than you were told in school. See you in the next adventure.